everybody. Welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. We have plenty coming up on the show. A couple of superstars in South Australian sport, one in basketball, one in athletics, will be joining us a little later on the show as always. So welcome. Barry Curtin, the show. Baz, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you going? How are you going?
I've recovered, mate. Had failed the COVID test, mate, and then tested negative and then had to isolate for 7 days. And I tell you what, anyone that has to isolate for 7 days, it's not as easy as you think. No, it's funny when you're working or when you're playing, you think, gee, I wouldn't mind a week off. Yeah. Then you get a week off, but you can't go anywhere.
That's right.
So I read a couple of books, educated myself. The house has never been so clean. The lawn was cut with a pair of scissors just to fill in time. So, good to be back. It's been good to be back. Although I did have a chance to think about things. I watched a lot of sport in that week. Yeah. I tell you what I'm getting over is I think sport is a great vehicle for us to enjoy, to be positive and be disappointed and understand when our teams lose or the athletes we're following don't win. Yeah. But there is so much negativity. It's like we've jumped on this bandwagon of let's create negativity, let's throw mud, let's have controversy. So I thought we'd start the show a little bit differently. Okay. I thought let's talk about some of the best sporting moments in the last week.
Of the week?
Yep. So I'm going to go through a couple of them because I know you weren't prepared on this because I didn't tell you. I wanted it to be a surprise. So in no particular order, and then at the end I'll ask you which one grabs you the most. Okay? Yeah. So let's start with Tiger Woods competing at the Masters in Augusta. Now the reason I think that's a great story is because here's a man that was in a car crash, had a shattered leg. They said he'll never play again. He'll be lucky to walk again. Then a year later, we're watching him compete in the Masters, and the first day out, he's in the top group.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Is that one of the great sporting things this week?
It is. It's like him coming back and winning the Masters after the layoff he had before.
Yes.
This is up there with it because, as he said himself, the people that actually saw his leg, the people that have seen it, just wow. It's like, no. He cannot possibly be playing. Even the doctor that performed all the operations, no, he cannot be playing in the Masters. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that at the end of each day, the pain that man was in to play, to compete. But Tiger Woods would not play in an event he didn't think he could win. And that's a fact. He would not play unless he believed that he would win. He was in red numbers for the first couple of days in that tournament, which is just staggering. Yes. Because Augusta, mate, is not a flat track. No. Augusta's like that, mate. You're walking up and down these massive hills there, and, with a leg like that, that's a great moment. And mate, that's a very good point you brought up about the negativity in sport. It does tend to grab you a little more, doesn't it? Because it's constant.
No, we want to be controversy, and so we're starting to get drawn into it. So I'm trying to get us away.
That is one of the great things.
And just on what you said, Tiger did say in one of his first interviews that they asked him, are you ready to play golf? He said, playing golf's not going to be the problem for me on this course. Walking is going to be the problem. And kind of got missed a little bit because walking's going to be the problem. Yeah. So I think, again, what you said is the pain he was in at the end was phenomenal.
And the work he had to do overnight to get himself back on the track again in the morning.
To compete.
Depending where he finishes, he could be starting at 7 a.m. Yep. Cold in the morning. And it was the last couple of days at Augusta were really cold. Yep. So, gee, that injury would have ate like crazy.
So I just reckon that's one of the good moments.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Now, while we're still on the Masters, then Cameron Smith, of course, being an Aussie, looked like he was going to win it. Yeah. And still finished in fourth, and he's come out and said eventually he's going to win the green jacket. So I love his positivity. But it was a great thing to see an Aussie at the Masters for a large portion of it. He was sitting at number one.
Right in there. Yep. He was right in there. Scotty Scheffler's the world number one for a reason. Yep. He's won 3 in his last 5 starts or something, which is just amazing. He didn't win the Players, which is like they call the 5th major. That was won by Cameron Smith. That was only a few weeks ago. So those two going in would have been the faves. No problem at all. Because Cameron Smith has finished high at the Masters previously. Scotty Scheffler, not so high. So I would have thought that Cameron Smith was the favourite, to me. Yep. And round one, I think he had 8 birdies in round one.
He shot an amazing first round.
And had bookend double bogeys. He double bogeyed the first and double bogeyed the last. And still was only 1 shot off the lead after day 1. Day 2, he's in there again. He's birdieing. He got within a shot on the last day, and everybody would have thought, I know, mate, Scotty Scheffler, you are in trouble here because this guy's a birdie machine, and he's going to have some more birdies. But then Scotty Scheffler did too. But he made an error at number 12, which cost him a double bogey, which put him back, and he never really recovered. But he still finished equal third. and he would have got a massive paycheck. I don't know what the paycheck was, but it would have been
nice.
It would have been over $1 million.
But still, one of the best sporting moments in the last week.
It was a great moment.
No doubt.
Here he is with a mullet.
Yep.
And when they ask him before the Masters, you know, what's your build-up been? How have you built into the? He said, "Oh, I've hit a few balls and had a few beers." Now that is Aussie, isn't it?
Yep.
I love that.
Excuse me. Yep.
I've had a few balls, I've had a few beers. Good on you, mate.
I reckon he's hit a few. He's probably hit a few more than he's drunk, I reckon. So, all right, okay. Now, what about the Crows women, of course, winning the AFLW Grand Final? It's another great moment in the last week.
Yeah, it's a great moment. They got over-built up, I think, but that's okay. I mean, I've had my say about that.
Yep.
They said they get 40,000, they got about 12. Good on them, because it is a good result for them. But I just think it's overdone, Phil. I don't want to be negative, but I just think it's overdone that a team that plays, what do they play, 7 games?
Yeah.
I don't know.
7 or 8, yeah. There'll be some more coming. Come on, mate, don't get negative. We're trying to stay on good sporting moments, mate.
You're right. It's a good win by them.
Yep, good for the city.
They had the pick of the state, but no more. That's no more.
Yep.
They'll come back in the field now.
All right, okay. Ollie Wines cleared after, of course, being diagnosed. He was diagnosed with arterial fibrillation, which is a irregular heartbeat. So the good news is that he's been cleared, and it looks like he's going to be okay.
Yeah. And they say, Phil, that happens with elite athletes.
Yep.
That can happen to elite athletes. So obviously, that's what's happened here. Because you would get a fright, wouldn't you? But evidently the doctors have explained to him, you know, that elite athletes can get this thing, and that made him feel a lot better.
Well,
as of earlier in the week, he's feeling 100%.
Okay, there's an outstanding swimmer here in South Australia, mate, gold medalist.
Bingo.
There you go.
Yep. Corby. Yep. Exactly right.
Yep, that's had a few of those problems as well.
Not Corby.
No, he's with Brett, one of your boys, mate, down there at Port Adelaide.
Yes.
Chalmers, probably lucky.
Kyle Chalmers.
Kyle's is your man. His dad, mate. You're thinking about his dad. Kyle is the one.
Oh, he was
probably could have got bitten by one of the snakes because he loves his reptiles, as we know. He's a beauty. Tex Walker back after 8 months of not playing, kicks 4 goals. So you know, I thought that was a good one. And then, of course,
why are they booing him, Phil?
Oh, I think it's just someone to boo.
Seriously,
you know, again, we don't want to get negative. He came back, he played some really good footy. Crows unlucky to win, but you go, the people that are booing him, and there have been some people on the side that are saying he's a racist. He's not a racist at all. I guarantee you that Tex is not a racist. No. He made a comment, he made a mistake, he's done everything he could and more to correct that. I think let's get on with playing footy now.
Well, I think I've said on this show a number of times, he's a terrific player, Tex Walker.
He's a great guy.
He's a dangerous man to have the ball in his hands. And that break would have done him a world of good, really.
Well, he looked pretty good on the weekend.
Because halfway through the year, in the last couple of years, he's been cooked.
Yep.
You can tell. He's gone. He can't gather a... So that break...
Well, I think that, and I think that the amount of focus and pressure that was on him circulating around the incident that led to all of it, there was a chance that he might not have played again.
I agree.
So I think it's a great thing that he's come back and played, and it's good for the game and it's good for everybody else. Last one, of course, the Commonwealth Games going to be in Victoria in 2026. So we've got 3 of the biggest sporting world events in the next 8 years here in Australia. So I reckon it's just been a good week on all of those. Now I'll just go through them for you so you can refresh your memory. I went with Tiger Woods at the Masters. Cameron Smith finishing 4th, an Aussie, and up there early. The Crows women AFLW. Ollie Wines cleared from the heart complaint. Tex Walker with his 4, and the Com Games. Is there one that stands out for you?
I have to go with Tiger, purely because, Phil, if you watched it, evidently the ratings, as soon as he announced that he was playing 50%. That's massive, mate. That is massive. And the crowds that surrounding him, no. There's nothing like watching Tiger play in a major.
Yeah, well, he drew the biggest crowd on the first day.
Every day.
And again, I agree with you. I think it's the fact that he came back from an injury that said you're not going to walk again. You know, the other ones are terrific as well. But I think that one is probably the one that does it for us.
Not going to play again.
All right, we need to get off and running, mate, because there's plenty coming up on the show. We need to get across to Millie for the sporting news. Millie, what have you got for us?
Thanks, Phil. And it has been an exciting week in the sporting world, so let's kick it off. And quite literally, with over 16,000 people flocking to Adelaide Oval Saturday to watch the Women's Adelaide Crows win AFL premiers for the 3rd time in 6 seasons. The Crows had a stellar performance, holding the lead throughout the match, before sealing it off with a 13-point win over the Melbourne Demons. Crows player Danielle Ponter had an all-star performance, kicking 2 goals in the pressure-packed grand final. But Anne Hatchard gathered a game high of 26 possessions, 9 marks and 6 tackles, winning best on ground. Melbourne built up some last-minute momentum into the third quarter. However, they just couldn't catch the Crows, finishing with a final score of 29-16. As the celebrations continue, so do discussions on whether the Crows' ex-captain Erin Phillips will join her crosstown rivals Port Adelaide, as they will be welcomed into the competition next season. Phillips is yet to comment on the matter. However, the rumour mill is circling, with fans thinking that she will soon follow in her father's footsteps over to Alberton. In the men's AFL, Port Adelaide fans' hearts maybe weren't racing as fast as Ollie Wines after their 32-point loss to the D's last Thursday night. After being substituted off at half-time, the Brownlow medalist Ollie Wines was sent to hospital over concerns of heart palpitations. The doctors reported that the issue had resolved itself and Wines was dispatched the next day. He remains under observation and will undergo further tests before Sunday's clash against Carlton. Port Adelaide coach Ken Hinkley's future may be lingering though, as supporters were seen leaving the match at three-quarter time, telling reporters they are fearful about the club's future. Port is yet to take a win home, so let's see what they can do on Sunday night at the MCG. In international news, what started as an April Fool's joke has ended in a groundbreaking comeback as Tiger Woods competed in the PGA Golf Masters Championship this week. The tournament was Woods' first appearance since his road accident in 2019 that left him with severe leg injuries. Although not taking home that $2.7 million prize, Woods commented saying that he was just glad doing what he loves and he's happy to be back. The man who did take home that green jacket, though, was world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, who finished the match with 10 under par for the entire tournament. Australia's own Cameron Smith's hopes were dashed with a triple bogey at the 12th hole. But you couldn't miss that true blue Aussie with his angelic mullet following him along the 4-day championship. Smith, who is currently ranked number 2 on the world stage, finished the tournament tied for 3rd place with 5 under par. Now, over to Formula 1, where Ferrari star Charles Leclerc took home the Australian Grand Prix win on Sunday night. Leclerc led all 58 laps, and in Melbourne, he increased his championship lead to 34 points. Meanwhile, McLaren driver and Australia's own Daniel Ricciardo enjoyed a strong points finish, completing a clean race to come home on 6th position, 1 spot from his grid. Now, back to local sport, where Adelaide Footy League players have been suspended for multiple games for dangerous tackling during last Saturday's action. Brighton Bombers Blake Higgins, Otis McCarthy and Jarman Seigel were all given suspensions at tribunal on Tuesday night over tackles deemed careless against the Goodwood Saints. 2 Goodwood players, Kyle Kirk and Will Clark, were knocked out during the 2 incidences and will sit out for at least 1 game per the concussion protocols. The Brighton Bombers took a 10-point home win, pushing them up to 5th place on the ladder. That is all the news I have for you this week. I'm Millie Walters. We'll be right back.